Hello friends, welcome back to the series taking the Yoga Master Dhalsim up to Master rank, one rank at a time. We've made it all the way to Diamond. I think if you've been following this guide, maybe it hasn't been that hard for you to get to Diamond. Indeed, I think getting to Diamond 3 with Dhalsim is much easier as a beginner than getting to Diamond 3 with Ryu or one of the other conventional sort of Shoto characters, because those guys have to learn a lot more of the reactive stuff. But getting to Diamond 4 and 5, and especially to Master with Dhalsim, is going to be very difficult, because you will be coming across many more players who can shut down a lot of your basic shenanigans. When you do this, they will anti-air you. Often they will even be able to do cross-cut dragon punches. When you do this, they will jab you out of it and convert into corner carrying moves like Ryu's Tatsu. They will know when to DI against these sort of moves. They will know how to find opportunities to drive rush in between your strings. They will know their way around your fireball patterns, all this kind of stuff. And of course, and I think this is a really big one for Diamond, they'll just be very consistent with their combos. So when they do get hits on you, they will really squeeze out a lot of damage. Part of the secret to beating characters like JP and Dhalsim is that when you do get an opportunity, you absolutely have to maximize that opportunity. And because players in the lower levels can't, you often get away with wins that you have no business getting away with these characters, but you won't have those kind of easy options in Diamond. Let's talk about some of the things that we want to add to Diamond. We're going to be talking about the drill and using it in the neutral in this kind of situation. We're going to be talking about some side swap drills or side swap combos that we can use when we get drive impacts. Right, side swap combos. We're going to be using those in the corner. We're going to talk about whiff punishing with this button. We're going to talk about checking drive rushes with this button. We're also going to be talking about whiff punishing with slide, particularly punishing fireballs with that. And we are going to be talking about perfect parry. The reason why we didn't talk about perfect parry up to now is because opponents aren't reliable up to now. But at this point, people start to become very reliable, both on wake up and in their combos, and that makes it possible to autopilot your perfect parries a lot more, and now it's worth incorporating them into your defensive game. All right, so let's get into it. So let's talk about the drill for a bit. We've talked about some of the easiest ways to incorporate drill, which is the auto block string. So if you do punch light, then you are at perfect spacing to jump back and do a medium drill. Let's take Chun-Li off always punish counter. Right, if you hit her there and she blocks, you'll be at +2. So you can now continue your pressure. If you get her there and she doesn't block, then you will be +7 and you can go into this. Now, I think it is worth practicing that timing because it's very tight and it's a little bit counterintuitive. So you have to kind of input the back medium kick button like really as soon as you see the hit. So just be coming up to here, save state, and just practice that sequence, right? And make sure you're getting the full 4-hit combo. And you can actually, just realized, oops, sorry. You should be able to get a blast off. God, why am I so bad at that? Again. Now, I have a tendency to put the cancel motion in too quickly and not let the animation for this rock, and that's why I get this button more often than I should. Right, so that's what you want to be practicing, but making sure that you're getting a 3-hit combo off the drill. So you want to be getting that 3-hit combo. All right, so that's step 1. The next auto drill is 3 and then light drill. Right now, there I only got +6 frames, and that's because I jumped straight up and did light drill. You want to jump backwards. There we go. So then we're +8, and this works again. Let's check if the blast works. Yep, nice. Okay, now remember that if they're crouching, that blast will whiff. So if you want to be really safe, you can just go into medium flame. Alright, so that's another one that you want to practice. 3 lights into light. And let's see what happens if she blocks all of those. +2. +2. So after what you want to practice now is going 1, 2, save state. And now she's on block. We want to put her to block random. And then you're just going to do the drill. And you're going to try to react to, if you hit, then you're going to go into your combo. And if she blocks, then you're going to go into a block string. Alright, so I didn't get it there. I didn't get it there. It's been a long time since I practiced reacting to... God, why do I suck? Yeah. I mean, it's not a disaster if you just go into back kick, but if she jabs, which a lot of players will because they're used to people not spacing their drills properly, and so they think that you're minus when actually you're +2. So you want to do practice this. I'm just very rusty with my Dhalsim, right? Right, that's the kind of situation we want to be looking for. Right, and if you want to start by just practicing this kind of sequence, then you can. Right. The other thing you can do here is jab, throw, right? Because if they're expecting to win this battle after you come down and then you jab them out, they're going to hold block in a panic, and so you should be able to throw them more easily. You can't get the splash because they're too far, but you can get his regular throw because it's got a longer range. Alright, and then same thing, go block all, jab, 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 and now save state, and now practice with your light drill and confirming your light drill. Of course, you don't always want to end in Yoga Fire because they can beat you with Drive Impact if you do that. Here you're a little bit too far for the throw, but it's a good way to still maintain pressure with the sim. You can do this kind of thing. All right, so that's what you're going to be practicing, and you're going to be trying to react to times when you get a hit by going into a sequence. Oops. She doesn't really want to let me hit her, does she? There we go. Right, but I didn't actually get the time in there. It didn't combo. So in any case, that's our most basic drill situation. Let's go back to restart battle. The other things that we've talked about with the drill is just using it to gain space in the neutral when your opponent's backing up a lot. And we've also talked about, well, we haven't talked about using it in the corner against throws, but we will talk about that a bit later. You can also use it when you're floating as a reaction, if you see your opponent really coming in. But that's quite advanced because you need to have a good sort of intuitive feel for the range of the drill. And you can do this in the neutral as well, that sometimes you'll just jump back and your opponent will think that you're going to be doing this sort of yoga float, but actually you just change it up. Remember that the key thing with Dhalsim and advanced Dhalsim is to always be doing something different, right? So you very rarely stick with a single pattern. You're always doing something different. All right, and that applies here as well. If you have a tendency to sort of do jump back comet or jump back float or something like that, then occasionally you also just want to jump back and drill, especially on someone who's coming at you very aggressively. All right, let's do a little drill to practice how to do that stuff. All right, so I've got Chun-Li with our usual recording to walk around and go forward, another recording to walk around and go backwards, another recording to just go forward, and then I've got one where she reacts to me, does actions. But let's just turn these three on to start with, and now we just want to practice getting those drills off. Right? Now we're always going to hit here, so the main thing is to not drill and get her above the knee. So if you, let's talk about that for a second, because I've assumed a bit of knowledge from you guys that I shouldn't have. Let's go back to the neutral for a second. Let's put her to block all the time. All right. If you hit someone with a drill above the knee, you are going to be -3 at least. If you hit him at the waist, you are going to be -8, and you're about to eat huge amounts of damage. That's true for all the drills, right? So that got her about the knee, and I'm still -1. If I get her above the knee, -13, I'm about to get annihilated, right? Same story here, -6. If you hit him on the head, you're going to be -19, right? This is why people mash. And this is true even if you are actually hitting her. So if you hit her above the knee, then I'm still -4, right? If I hit her above the knee here, +1, right? +1 with the medium drill, +2 there. But if I get her at the waist, I'm 0. Light drill, I hit her in the middle of the body there, I'm -5. I hit her on the kneecaps and I'm 3. So there's not really any point in drilling if there's not a chance that you will hit them below the knee, because it's only below the knee that you can actually get a combo, right? At least that sort of combo. Right, but ideally we want to hit them on the toes, because it's on the toes that we get things like -10 like that, right? Sorry, +10. So if we get someone on the toes, then we can get into, Jesus, why am I so bad at that combo? Right? Then we can get juicy combos like this one, or at the very least we can get something like this. That's my least favorite combo in the whole of Street Fighter, but a very important one for Dhalsim. All right, so let's get Chun-Li doing the recordings that we put in before, and we're trying to hit her below the knee. So that was too high. Right. If she gets close to you, just splash her out and start the drill again. Right, so that was nice, +10. That was nice too, +9. And of course, once you get the hang of it, then you can start to do the combo as well. And generally speaking, you only want to be doing medium drill in this kind of neutral situation, because light drill is just going to go so far. Go away. Oops. Again, just cancelled too quickly. Right. Now here, the problem with this drill is that we're not practicing a situation where she's blocking. But you just want to get into the habit. See, that was way too high. Right? That was probably the wrong drill. I should have used light. Yeah, that was a nice light. That's better. Hard to throw Chun-Li after these ones. Slap. But that's the essence of the drill. Nice. Wasn't a combo though. The reason why I'm using Chun is because she has quite a fast walk speed, so it forces me to pay attention. I probably wasn't +7 there. Alright, that's enough for that little drill. So that's the basic idea, just be practicing your drills. But drills is really something that you're just going to have to go into matches and do. So my suggestion is that when you hit Diamond with Dhalsim, you stop playing ranked for quite a long time and just go into casuals and use drill in a lot of situations when you shouldn't be using drill, and do a lot of the stuff that can get you into trouble if you get it wrong, like OD, Comet, teleports, instant teleports, drills, mummy drills, all this kind of stuff. And just get into the habit of applying it in a match. You're going to lose a bunch of stuff because people are going to punish you for it, but eventually you'll feel much more natural and loose putting those drills into your toolkit. All right, let's talk now about some side swap drills. Side swap combos, I should say. So for that, we need to get Chun-Li over to the corner like this. All right, so we want to simulate a situation where your opponent tries to drive impact you. So you put Chun-Li about here. you go over to the dummy settings, you put it on always punish counter. Block after first hit as well, so we can practice our combo, save the current state, and now we're going to practice the combos. There's two combos that I think you want to learn. I think, to be honest, the first one you want to learn is the reset combo, because no one ever expects it. So I got this one from Eli Eats Crayons, who is my favorite Dhalsim player, because he's such a loose unit. He plays such a rushdown type of Dhalsim, and he's generally kind of hilarious and trolly with Dhalsim. And this is a very hilarious and trolly combo. All right, so basically the way it's going to work is I'm going to get the drive impact, then I'm going to dash back, drive rush light sweep, and that's going to go underneath Chun-Li, and then I'm going to hit light punch DI. Okay, the light punch is going to reset her, so she's going to be in the air. Light punch is going to cause her to land, and that means that my DI will hit and knock her into the corner. All right, let's have a look. Bonk. I think I was a bit late. No, I got it with that too. So you can go into level 2 there. You can't go into level 1, but you can go into level 3 as well. So level 3 or level 2 will work, or you can just do your normal sweeps. Let's have one more look. Oh, I didn't get the sweep out in time. What's going on? Nice. And then we straight back into our usual corner pressure shenanigans with Dhalsim. Alright, so that's the first one you want to learn. Obviously, people DI against Dhalsim all the time in the corner, and all the time close to the corner, so this will work when you're out here as well, but it's particularly appropriate when you're in the corner. So just have a bit of a practice of that. Now that's obviously a kind of high risk, high reward side swap combo. One thing that's really rewarding about it is that when you finished it, you are in the corner on top of your opponent. So you finish here, which is really tasty. The next one that I'm going to show you is not as high risk, because if your opponent knows this Eli Eats Crayons combo, then they will be going, oh, he did the slide, he's about to DI me, and they'll be ready to press the DI. But I think it's very unlikely that anyone who's not a Dhalsim player is watching Eli Eats Crayons videos, and so they've probably never seen this schmicks before. I've never seen one of the pros do it. I think Eli's MR is like above 2,000, so he's very, very good. But anyway, so I think you can just use that one by default, and you can probably even do it twice on the one player. But the other combo, which is much less risky because it is just a full combo, is the following. So we're going to get the DI, and we are going to immediately instant air teleport and light kick. That's going to juggle our opponent, so it's going to pop them up into the air, and then as we land, we're going to do heavy kick, and we're going to cancel that heavy kick into a light fireball. Now the light fireball is not going to combo. What it's going to do is that it's going to be meaty on their opponent's wake up. So as they wake up, they're going to get hit by that fireball. The reason why we want to do that is because it's going to beat level 1 supers. So I'm going to turn that on right now. So if I go into wake up reversal, and I'm going to turn on Kukol Shoal. So when I knock Chun-Li down, she's going to wake up with level 1 super. All right, now let's see this combo. Bonk, no. Right? Excellent, outstanding combo. Let's turn the super off for a second. Oops. Right, so it does a respectable amount of damage to start with. Right, 1760, not bad. And it gets you out of the corner. It puts your opponent in the corner. So it's pretty delightful for that reason. But if you get that meaty fireball off, they have to wake up and just take that pressure. And that allows you to creep in a little bit and start getting Dhalsim's scary corner pressure going. You are not in the right distance for a medium slide. So don't try to do that the way you would after a tech. But I think it is worth maybe practicing this with your opponent waking up either blocking or doing level 1 super. And if you see that they're about to get hit by a level 1 super, you can combo heavy sweep. Let's have a look. Oops. just mash heavy sweep. And you will get the 2-hit combo from your fireball hitting them, and then your sweep hitting them, and then you end up right on top of them. I doubt many people will wake up with a level 1 super there, but it's worth thinking about anyway. Let's see what happens if she just blocks. You can get the sweep off, but it's not a good idea because they'll just be crouch blocking. All right, so if you see them wake up blocking, just walk towards them. All right, so I think it's very worth practicing those 2 combos, both of them. I probably could have put them into an earlier video. So I think in gold rank, this is something worth practicing because you want to be able to get those kind of things off. But you can also just do your usual DI punish. And you're out of the corner that way. The problem with that, or the suboptimality of that, is that while we got good damage, we are now very far from the corner. And as we talked about in Platinum, Dhalsim's corner pressure is actually pretty scary. So these combos are better because they help you retain the corner. So you end up either here with Chun-Li in the corner, or after the Eli Eats Crayons combo, you end up right on top of them and you can absolutely put them into the schmicks. All right, what are we going to talk about next? We're going to talk about whiff punishing a bit. So let's get the dummy onto normal stuff. We're going to go into restart battle in the center. So whiff punishing is when your opponent puts out a real fat button like this one and it whiffs, it doesn't hit you, and then you can punish it. Boom. Right? Very advanced skill. If you are playing a character like Ryu, Ken, Akuma, Terry, any of the Shoto characters, then whiff punishing is a really core mechanic to Street Fighter, and you probably struggle to make it to Diamond without learning at least a little bit of whiff punishing. But Dhalsim doesn't really need to bother with it until you get to about Diamond 3-4, and then it's worth doing it a little bit. And so we're just going to practice it now a bit, mostly with this button. From Chun, or any kind of big slow button from people. So like Ken's heavy roundhouse kick, Akuma's forward heavy punch and heavy kick, although they're quite hard to whiff punish because they tend to go past you. Ryu's heavy punch is a good one to practice with, but I think this button from Chun is one of the easiest ones to learn it with, and also this button from Chun. Right, and it's pretty hard to whiff punish this button unless you're really ready for it. All right, so just start by having her do one of these buttons, and you're just trying to stay out of its range and then react to seeing it whiff with your whiff punish. All right, now it's very safe to whiff punish like this because even if she blocks it, you'll still be plus and she'll still be really far away from you. Oh God, why am I so bad today? Sometimes you can whiff punish with this, but I would say generally for Dhalsim, we only really want to be using back down heavy punch. That's the one. Once you feel pretty confident getting it off in that situation, then put it back in for Chun to walk around a bit. And now we want to react to it. We want to stay out of its range. Bit slow, but bit slow is fine, like whatever. The main thing is just to let them know that you will be whiff punishing them occasionally. And one thing that you can also do is this. Oops, sorry, I meant to do this combo. Right. Or you can buffer. So medium punch and just buffering drive rush in behind it. So just press medium punch and cancel it into drive rush. And then practice, that's only going to come out if you hit your opponent. If you don't hit, then nothing will happen. Let's have a look at that. So watch my inputs on the side of the screen. So I'm cancelling into drive rush, but it's never coming out. She whiff punished me there, right? So it'll only come out if you hit. And that's quite useful. You can also buffer, and this is something to especially be doing when your opponent is close to dead and you don't have a lot of gauge. Level 1 super. You can whiff punish with level 1 super as well. But medium punch is very difficult to whiff punish with because it's too slow at 12 frames. So it's more of a buffering button. And the nice thing about it is that even if you get blocked like that, you still do a lot of chip damage. And so you can probably recover some of the damage just by hitting them shortly afterwards with a button. See all the grey life there? So those are two things you want to be practicing, is whiff punishing with heavy punch, waiting for them to do something, and also just buffering drive rush in behind medium punches, right? Okay, this will make you a much more threatening Dhalsim. Oosh, jeez, that's got deceptively long range, doesn't it? A little bit slow. Okay, the final whiff punish I want to talk about is this. Right now, whiff punishing with heavy slide is difficult, particularly against a character like Chun-Li. So I think the better person to practice this against is someone like Ryu. It's your man named Ryu. Let's bring out Ryu for a second. The second character I got to master. Yeah. All right, so same sort of story. Have recordings where Ryu goes back and forth forward, back and forth backwards, forward. Yeah, and then have one where he just does a fireball. Turn all those on. Save state, get into it. When you see him fireball, get him with the sweep. It's actually stupidly easy, I would say. Right? It's hard to do it from this kind of range, but from that kind of range you'll be doing something different with Dhalsim anyway. You can also get him with the medium slide on reaction, but make sure it's on reaction. Nice. The reason why you might want to use heavy slide is because it's a hard knockdown, and so you will get perfect Oki. You can dash up after your slide and you'll be +6. Right, once you've got a handle on whiff punishing the fireball, then obviously we want to make it a little bit more realistic. And we want to record one where he presses heavy punch. And now we're going to add those in. And heavy punch is a button that is whiff punishable, right? I'm still looking for the fireball mostly. He'll occasionally drive dragon punch. And you can also punish the dragon punch in the same way, but probably we want to punish it with heavy kick, right? Like that. Nice. If he throws a fireball, see how a bit slow there. Can we punish there? What? Into the corner. Right. If you want to get really freaky with it, then you can also put in a recording where he Denjin charges. Oops. Right. And now you want to practice reacting to the Denjin charge with instant teleport punishes. Alright, put it back in with the others. So when he... Now, of course, in real life, he's not going to Denjin charge right in front of you like this, so you don't want to get in the habit of punishing it with slide. You want to get in the habit of punishing it with instant teleport. That's actually why Ryu's heavy punch is a godlike button, is because it retracts really quickly, and so it's actually quite hard to whiff punish it. Nice. Now, let me say one thing here, just very briefly. If you... Sorry, I should turn this off. If you punish a fireball with heavy slide on the tip, you get what's called a hard knockdown, right? So it's a punish counter. Anytime you punish counter with a sweep, you'll get a hard knockdown. Let's turn off Ryu's wake up reversals for a second. Right, and you'll be plus 42. Now what that means is you might be slightly less than that, but you'll always be very plus if you got him with the edge of your foot, which if you punished a fireball, you probably did, because you probably punished it from about this range, and you got the hard knockdown. In that situation, you can do a light arch while they're on the ground, and you will still be plus enough to jab them out of wake up pressure. Let's have a look. See that? So he's waking up jab, but I can beat it. Is he always waking up jab? Oh, I've got it on 8-frame delay. That's the problem. Alright. So if we get the punish from about here, it should be fine. Right, we beat him. Now, this leads into various schmixes. So you can do... and then teleport. Sorry, I need to be a bit further back. It really does need to be the tip. Oops, I forgot the arch. So what you can do, but as you can see, it's difficult. You can do light punch, teleport, and then the arch will hit them on the head as you come out of that, and that leads into combos. You can do light punch, the arch will hit them, and then you can go into this sort of combo, because while they're recovering from the arch, this will combo off your lights. There's a whole bunch of stuff you can do, but I think this is generally a bit advanced. I would probably save this for master. I just wanted to point it out. I think usually if you get this one, just dash and you'll be plus 6. Let's have a look at that. Plus 19, right? So pretty tasty. Yeah, plus 20 even. What if I double dash? I'm minus 1. So we can't double dash, but we can single dash. We've still got Oki. We can throw them across the screen. We can wake up with this kind of stuff if we want. Lots of things we can do. We can wake up with OD arch. Sorry. With arch. Right, and we'll be plus 3, but then they're far away from us, so that's not great. But anyway, we have a bunch of options there. We can shimmy him, we can do all sorts of stuff. So that's what I'd recommend. All right, I hope that covers whiff punishing sufficiently for you guys. So we whiff punish particularly fireballs, but anything that happens really far away from us, we can whiff punish with slide. Slide is only 12 frames, whereas heavy kick is 17 frames, so it's much harder to whiff punish things, even dragon punches with heavy kick from far away. This one is a bit easier to do. Whiff punishing a bunch of stuff with this. And you want to look not just for whiff punishes, but any situation where you're kind of this close to someone and there's a bit of a scramble, this button buffered into heavy flame can often be really effective. And same with buffering this one, right? Because even if they block that, you can then often get your throw off, right? Sorry. Bonk, bonk, slap. Okay. And then you can also practice buffering level 1 super, which if people run into is great. Now the next thing I want to talk about, which you do have to start doing up at this level, is checking drive rushes. So when you're here, let's do drive rush from Ryu. Okay, so people will start drive rushing at you, and Ryu has one of the weaker drive rushes, so I think he's pretty good to practice this with. So just get the dummy going, moving around, and he's going to drive rush at you occasionally, and you want to check it with that. So you're just reacting to the blue-green flash. What happened there? All right, and you can just buffer it into Yoga Flame. Now, of course, when you're putting a lot of buttons out, players aren't just going to be drive rushing at you all the time. But when people are in close like this, they will often be drive rushing at you to try to maintain their pressure. Okay, try to get the buffer off. think medium punch is a good button to have Ryu doing because it has good priority. You can also check with light kick. The problem with checking with light kick is that you don't really get any sort of combo afterwards, but it's got really good priority because it's way out in front. Why are you not running at me, Ryu? It's so weird. It's like faking me out. Nice. Alright, so that's the basic idea. And once you get comfortable with that, then you want to add it in to the other things we had Ryu doing before. And now he's going to drive rush at you occasionally. Alright, so we've done checking the drive rush. Now let's talk a little bit about one last thing. So I want to turn all of these off except slot 7. We're going to get right in Ryu's face here. And we're going to have him do some kind of irritating block string like, and then cross me up. Okay. So the annoying thing is that because Dhalsim has such slow walk speed, he can't walk under this kind of cross up. He can do that if he moves backwards. So let's change this slightly, so that Ryu's only going to do 2 jabs and then go straight into it. Okay. So in this situation, if you go for your anti-air, well, you might catch it if you're walking backwards, but a lot of the time they're just going to jump over you and you're going to get wrecked, right? So what you need to do is recognize this situation and just slide away. And then you're way out of trouble. I think medium slide is best, but light slide also works. Medium slide's better because it takes you further away. All right, so if you want to practice this, you want to set up a couple of sequences in training mode where Ryu will be doing that sort of 2 jab setup. Then you'll have one where he does like jab, 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 Hashogeki or something like that. And then you turn them both on. Oops. Sorry. I'm struggling on my keyboard here. And when you see him jump, you're going to do slides. Right, and that will try to build your reaction for this kind of situation. Now, thankfully, because you're crouching, it's a bit easier. Nice. All right, so just be practicing that. You can put a few other drills in there, like have all 8 of them where, I don't know, a third of the time he jumps over you and tries to do the crosscut. I like to use Ryu or Akuma for this because they have really shallow jumping arcs, and so you have to react faster. You can also use Chun-Li's flip where she jumps over you, because that's another one where they're going to try to cross you up, but I don't think that you can slide under that from memory. In any case, beating cross-ups is quite important. All right, the last thing I want to talk about is some corner defense shenanigans. So let's get Yuri out. I like costume too because I'm thirsty. All right, and now we want to go into the corner. All right, so remember last time we were talking about this situation where Yuri has a throw loop in the corner, yeah? So one thing that you can do against the throw, we have been doing mummy drill, right? But players at this level will start to be able to react to that mummy drill. What they will do is when they see you teleport, they will mash jab. And if the mummy drill gets blocked and doesn't hit punish counter, then that jab will beat you, okay? So that's one thing you can do, but the other thing that you can do, and I believe it's possible, I don't think there's any... Oh, no, there is. Hold on. All right. Let's put block after first hit, always punish counter. So if you jump back mummy drill... Right, you're -3 after she blocks you there. If I put her on always punish counter, block after first hit, reversal settings, reversal after damage, jab. Let's see what happens there. Common normal moves, light punch, 0 frame delay. Yep, see, she beats you. Bang. Right, now you're out of the corner, so that's fine. And if you mummy drill from higher up, then her jab will whiff. But typically speaking, you want to immediately do the mummy drill. So I find that often players by this stage, by the time you get into Diamond, have good timing on that jab. So they'll know how much to delay it in order to catch you. Maybe they need to delay it 2 frames or something. Yeah, boom. And then you're stuffed, right? And she can also combo off that jab into a Tesserin or something, and so she might even have Oki. So you're out of the corner, but it's still their advantage, which isn't really a great situation. So the other thing I'd recommend adding into your arsenal is jump back heavy drill, right? Let's turn off that light punch for a second, right? So you're +3 after that. So I believe if she's light punching on a delay of 0 frames, that you should be able to, whoops, Jesus, get the throw off. But for some reason, yeah, you have to press that throw while you're still in the drill motion. You have to put it into the buffer window, right? So it's worth practicing this so that you don't get jabbed out of it, because I found that I was often hitting punish counter with my drill and still getting jabbed. And your opponents will think that they're plus because you hit them very high, you hit them above the knee. The reason why you're plus is because you got punish counter. And your punish counter +3. The other thing that you can do if you don't want to just back throw them into the corner is that you can go into my least favorite combo, that one, right? And then you can splash them into the corner quite easily after that. Ugh, why do I suck? Woo! Boom. Alright, and now you're in the corner and you can even get the slide off. So, I think you just want to practice jump back drill throw and make sure you put that throw in while you're still drilling, okay? And then you'll get the punish counters. Okay, you'll know you've done it right because you get the punish counter, and she's set to always give you punish counter there on always punish counter. Once you can do it, then go back to standard, go back to your recording settings, turn on the throw loop, and see if you can do it there. All right. Nice. Okay, and then just practice that in a more realistic scenario. This is one of the strongest things about Dhalsim, is that if you read throw, if you genuinely think that your opponent is going to throw you, then you don't just tech, which resets the neutral. And if you do tech, remember, you can also do this, right? She's immediately at the right range for that to work. Okay? But Dhalsim has aggressive answers to people trying to throw him. He can get combos off people trying to throw. Alright, so definitely something you want to get into your arsenal. And you also want to practice it with the other jump options, other wake up options that your opponent might have. And the one that I want to talk about now is this one. Dash up, neutral jump. Now the reason why people will neutral jump a lot against Dhalsim is because you will be doing a lot of wake up drive reversals. Why isn't this working? Right, and it beats wake up drive reversal. It also beats wake up drive impact, but I don't see why you would do that. Right. Okay, so if you do get neutral jumps when you drive reversal, whatever, like you're just gonna eat huge damage. But sometimes you won't be, you'll just be blocking on wake up, right? And you'll see them jump. And then you want to get in the habit of having that ready to go. And I think that is often going to be a situation where you want to do that, which we talked about way back in silver, and also just back throwing them into the corner. Or mostly, I think you want to be back throwing them into the corner. As opposed to... Why didn't that connect? God, I hate this anti-air so much. You can do that, but I think in this situation, that's really just going to reset the neutral, and you're still in the corner, which you don't want to be. So I think generally speaking, you're going to want to drive rush up and back throw them. And if they see you doing that a lot, then start to drive rush up and hit them with, sorry, let me pay attention. Yoga blast, splash, drive rush, medium sweep. Yeah. All right. So practicing people empty jumping you, or neutral jumping you on wake up. And then we also want to practice the perfect parry. Now, as I said, the reason why I haven't introduced perfect parry until now, even though it's a very powerful defensive option for Dhalsim, and he probably needs to use it more than most characters, is because people's timings are no good up to this point. So when people are waking up, they will try to meter you, but they won't meter you in a way where you wake up with a button inside you. They will meter you in a way where sometimes the meaty gets you before your jab can come out or something like that. But their timing is not precision. Once it becomes precision and you can be confident that when you wake up, there is a limb inside you, then all you need to do to get a perfect parry is to tap parry as you become active. And that is not so easy. It's still a 2-frame window, 1/30th of a second. But at least you have a kind of visual cue that you can get used to, which is the point where you know that Dhalsim becomes active. So in order to practice this, we're going to use our recording where Yuri throws us, dashes up, and meaties us, right? And we just want to wake up with that parry, and we're tapping the parry, and we're trying to tap it just as we become able to get hit. I'm still too early. Still a bit late. All right, now one option is to back throw. Late. So you can see it's not easy. I'm also rusty. And you want to practice this against all sorts of different characters. The other option is to sweep, and then as soon as you sweep, do a teleport. Why is that? All right, so let's talk about those two options for a second. Let's put Yuri on always punish counter because that's what you'll get after a parry. So if I back throw Yuri on punish counter, then I'm way back here, right? I'm far away from her, so I don't really have a lot of good Oki options in this situation. If I slide, then she's going to jab me out of it, right? So we can't do our usual slide auto time setup. If we slide like this, then we're not going to be sufficiently plus to do any combos because it's not the right spacing. And so you don't really have a good option here other than medium punch. And even medium punch is not particularly well timed. So you can sort of hit her with a yoga flame, but you can, I believe, immediately jump on wake up and you'll actually get past the yoga flame. So this is cool, like you're out of the corner, you do 2000 damage, which is a lot of damage. Right, huge amounts of damage, but you don't have particularly good Oki. In contrast, if you do the sweep teleport, let's turn off her wake up option for a second so that we can see our frame advantage. We are +9, right, and we're right on top of her, right. So we only did 1000 damage in this case. But we've got Oki and we're close to her, and we can get our corner pressure started properly. Because Dhalsim has a hard time getting forward when he's got corner pressure. And to do all the shenanigans we talked about in Platinum, we really have to be on top of someone there. So I think you want to practice sweep, teleport, and now you're on top of them in the corner. So you can do all your usual corner pressure stuff. You're +9, so you can do this stuff. No problem, right? You can do all the different shenanigans that you might want to do. You can also do the shimmy, right? So just be practicing that. Get back on slot 2. Practicing your perfect parries. Just going to backdash occasionally. Right. Once you've got your perfect parry timings down, then you want to turn all 3 of these on and practice your wake up options. So you've got delay tech as your first option. That's going to get beaten by her jumps, right? Sometimes you just want to take the throw. Maybe I think she's going to neutral jump me now. I delay teched. Used my drill. I've got my mummy drill as well, right? But I want to make sure I cancel that into teleport, right? And it's going to get beaten by meaty. So then I want to practice my parry wake up. Whoosh, but then she's going to throw me out of it. All right, but in case you get the idea, you can practice all those different wake up options. All right, I think that is everything that I wanted. Oh no, there's one more thing I wanted to talk about, which is also related to perfect parry. But for this one, we want to go into the neutral. So let's go to restart battle in the center. Yuri's the right character to have. Oops. Go to slot 5, and we're just going to have her drive rush and then do one of these silly pressure strings. So Yuri's pressure string is drive rush, medium, medium. Oops. Let me try to remember. I'm not a Yuri player. Is it that? Yeah, it's that. All right. Medium, medium, crouch, medium, fuha, stop. All right. So put that on and then have her drive rush at you. And just practice parrying in the middle of that block string. All right. Remember to always hold block when you press parry. I have a bad habit of not holding block, and then if my parry is mistimed, I just get wrecked extra bad. Now I think the last part of this, is a pure block string, so you can't actually parry between the last punch and the kick, but you can parry in the middle here. And you know that Yuris love to just autopilot this combo, and so you often have opportunities to perfect parry in it. And that's what I wanted to talk about really, is just using perfect parry in the neutral against this kind of autopilot combos that a lot of characters have, like Luke doing crouch medium punch into crouch medium punch, Dhalsim doing crouch medium punch into crouch medium punch, Cammy's doing similar kind of brain dead sequences. You want to use the parry anyway because it protects your drive gauge, but it also gives you opportunities with Dhalsim to get perfect parries, and they do a lot of mental damage. A lot of Dhalsim is about doing mental damage. Your opponent's painstakingly gotten into your face and you drive reversal them off, or you perfect parry and throw them backwards into the corner, and now they've got the whole screen to come back on you again. Really frustrating stuff for anyone, and when people get frustrated against Dhalsim, that's when they start doing drive impacts. That's when they start doing full screen drive rushes that you can check really easily like this. All right, that's when they start doing a lot of whiffed buttons that you can combat. Okay, so we want to get our opponents frustrated, and integrating the perfect parry is a good way to do that. All right, let's summarize what we talked about. So we talked about practicing your drill and trying to get combos off your drill. we had a drill for the drill where you had the other character moving around and you were just trying to practice getting the spacing right, so you always hit them at the knee or lower. And if they block you at the knee, then you want to continue with the light strings if you're plus. If they block you above the knee, then you just want to make sure you're holding block because they are plus. We talked about the side swap combos after drive impact, so this one, and drive impact, light teleport, heavy kick. I think those are two really powerful and important tools to add to your toolkit. We talked about whiff punishing fireballs, especially with slide, and whiff punishing slow buttons with this one. We also talked about buffering crouch, medium punch, drive rush. So if people walk into our fist, then we'll be able to get forward with it. And we talked also about buffering level 1 super, which you'll see a lot of pros do. Then we talked about checking the drive rush with back medium kick. You can also check it with this when people are doing it from very far away. This is an excellent drive rush checking button because it goes so far in front of you, but it is quite slow. Light kick is 9 frames and it goes even further, so light kick is also a great button, and you can cancel light kick into fireball, so you can buffer that. Right, that is a combo as well, which is quite nice. And you can also buffer that, but that won't combo, right? Oh, it does. Wow. Right. So buffering medium yoga flame behind your light kick, if you suspect that they're going to drive rush at you, is a very good option. Finally, we talked about being ready for people to neutral jump you on wake up, and using that as an opportunity to get out of the corner. That's something where you have to observe what your opponent's doing. And if you notice that they're neutral jumping a lot on wake up, especially in later rounds after you've represented that you drive reversal on wake up fairly often, then you really need to start looking out for it, beat it, drive rush in, throw them into the corner. And then we also talked about drilling as a defensive option in the corner to beat throws, and we talked about perfect parrying on wake up and perfect parrying in people's dumb block strings. I think that's all you need to get to master. It is actually an awful lot to learn, especially drill. Drill took me ages. I would say that like 50% of my time with Dhalsim was spent getting better at drilling, basically. The other stuff, I mean, maybe because I already had played a lot of Street Fighter, but a lot of the stuff in earlier videos was pretty straightforward. Drilling I found very difficult, and it got me into a lot of trouble. But if you don't drill, then you will also get into a lot of trouble. Drill is necessary for mixing up the neutral and giving your opponent a lot of stuff to think about, so they can't just autopilot at you. All right, good luck, guys. Hopefully you too can become yoga masters.